The YOBstitution.
It's finally here.
It's finally here. A ratified document that you and I drafted in a couple of hours.
Adopted by the states.
Yeah, it's our Dogma 95 of some rules that we wrote down when we were originally talking about doing this podcast, because we discussed it in kind of broad terms. Then we had one day we were like, okay, let's actually sit down and come up with some, I guess, ground rules for things that we want to make sure we do, want to make sure we avoid. Our Constitution, which I think you cleverly thought, let's really make this unique and title it the YOBstitution.
The YOBstitution. Yeah, it's a portmanteau of your older brother's Yob and,
You are our little brothers listening, and you're going to listen to us explain our YOBstitution to you.
I guess we'd call our fans that, the little brothers.
Yeah.
The little hellraisers.
Yeah. Even if you're a little sister, you're a little brother at heart.
Oh, yeah. Honorary brother.
Yeah. If you're a girl and you like this show, you probably have your like testosterone ratio is a little off.
You're very tomboyish.
Yeah. You're my type.
If you're a hot chick, write in to yourolderbrothers@gmail.com.
And explain why you like this show.
Yeah, send a headshot. I'll give you a good shake.
Yeah. Nick is the one who gets the girls from the show. He's single, ladies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Caleb's committed to his beautiful wife.
Mm-hmm. So, Your Older Brothers, this is a name that you thought of. When we were trying to figure out what we wanted the name of the show to be. We kind of had everything figured out, actually, before we had the name, but you came up with a list of ideas. I had trouble thinking of anything, but you came up with a list, and one of them was Your Older Brothers, and when I saw that, I was like, that's right. That's it. That's the vibe.
Yes, I had a little bit of trouble, but then I realized the best thing to do is just kind of take names and see what sticks. So I was using any turn of phrase. Mm-hmm. Some other phrases that we didn't use are going to be like some of our categories.
Maybe future episode titles. You came up with some clever stuff that I like that we're definitely going to save and use for something.
Yeah, one thing about me is I'm pretty good at coming up with stuff like on the spot, like names or like acronyms. Okay. I don't know why I've always been good at that.
Ego's going to your head because I complimented the name. You're going to get out of control now.
Well, you did so many other things. You thought of a lot of like episode ideas.
I think we both did. I think we've shared the workload pretty fairly.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty 50-50. I mean, anytime you create something, unless you've 100% split the work, it's not going to be exactly 50-50, but we're pretty equal. I've never felt like I'm doing all the work, and hopefully you've never felt like you're taking on the brunt of everything.
I'll say this. I've had, not a crazy amount, but I've had quite a few projects I've worked on with a partner or multiple partners that I was excited about, and then very quickly in the process, it became clear that it wasn't going to be what I wasn't going to really be happy with what it was. And some of those ended friendships. Like they were just really,
Yeah.
And this is the first time that I've ever worked on something creative with somebody that I was fully committed to and excited about, where I felt like the energy was fully matched. So that makes it really easy to work. But whenever I'm having a bad day or just feeling my natural kind of just like malaise and just depression about life, I can open up Google Drive and like type up some notes for episode ideas. And this has just become my little happy place for the last few months. So
yeah, the idea of having somebody put an equal effort to something that you're interested in is very cathartic. Like, for reference, we are filming in my apartment. We are surrounded by foam duct taped to poster boards.
Very DIY.
Yes, to absorb any sound we can.
Hopefully this show sounds good. I'm not that this was like a lot of money to most people, but I put pretty much every spare dollar I had into my portion of like the equipment and the gas over here. Like it's a big investment for me,
Yes, I probably south of $1,000 for me for some of the stuff I've had to buy, and like domain, definitely less than 1,000, but probably closer to like 500.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know how you spent $1,000 so far.
How about the good shit?
Oh, yeah, the liquor alone. Yeah,
I would say I am surrounded by 3 different alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, we should have kept a running total of like the dollar amount of alcohol we've consumed while recording these episodes.
Oh, like a year's worth. I think the episodes in which we are sober are probably like 10% fully sober.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the ones right in the morning after we're hungover and can't drink or we're going to die.
Yeah. Can I ask you this? Before, because originally, I mean, the reason we're doing this, ultimately, you could argue the actual inception moment was the moment where we actually like floated the idea or talked about it was I got one of many insane bills, and I was just like, I need some more income. I need to figure out something, because working 40 hours a week at a pretty well-paying job is still not cutting it, and I'm like gonna be destitute. And I was just like, hey guys, like in our group chat with our other friends, I was like, let's just make a podcast. Come on, let's do it. And you were the only one who even replied.
Yes.
The others just ignored it. But you were like, Caleb, I will do that with you. And I was like, okay, but like for real?
Yeah. I knew you were telling the truth. I'm sure the other people were just like, oh, classic Caleb, running up them bills again. Yeah. But I was like, I do think that if we could make a successful job out of this, that would be great. Because I'm doing something I love. And hopefully people are going to listen to this and agree with me that this is maybe of some value. Maybe we'll crash and burn. But the 3 or so months that we've spent so far, like getting stuff together and recording and planning stuff, have been some of the only like years in my adult life where I've been like, damn, life is pretty good.
Optimistic.
Yes.
Yeah, this really is its own reward. Which you hear people say when they're talking about movies or people who write books or whatever. They make some form of entertainment. And they talk about how, you know, even if I wasn't making money, I really would do this anyway. And you're like, okay, cut the shit. But actually, for real, now I kind of know what they're talking about. Because, I mean, I've made things before solo that were rewarding, but it is really hard to stay motivated when you are just working for yourself, because people don't really work very hard for themselves. But when you have somebody else that you're working with who's kind of depending on you, you kind of pull each other up and keep each other working. And but the pleasure of just like the drive over here, like knowing like just like the stuff we're going to go over, and like, 'cause it is a fun time sitting down and like we're watching terrible movies. We're getting to talk about like really esoteric topics that like you and I know about and a lot of people we know don't. And that's kind of the joy of like getting to know each other, is that like we just have so many common reference points for things that like I definitely feel, this sounds like just so homoerotic to say, but I feel like very much like less alone. And not that I don't have other people, including my lovely wife, who like do mean something to me and everything, and like I do have unique connections with, but I have never met anybody with whom I can talk about these kinds of like things that are very important to me and interesting to me, but kind of to no one else I know, you know?
Exactly. We do have a brotherly kinship that's kind of alarming with how similar we are.
Yes, we are your older brothers, in that we are going to be talking to you, the listener, about the things that we think matter, and you're going to listen and listen to our opinions, and we're hopefully going to turn you on to some new ways of thinking about things, some new media, some content to enjoy. This show, I guess, it's not like necessarily... like, we're not setting out to just make like the movie show, although we are both people who that is our primary aspiration and joy, is watching movies and wanting to make our own.
Yes, we both went to film school with varying degrees of graduation, but this is a subject that we're both heavily interested in and passionate about. And that's the one thing that I wanted to focus on, is a lot of people make a podcast and it really is just like talking about like, yeah, man, did you see that? Oh man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
We decided early on, we need to always talk about something that we're passionate about. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be controversial, just something that we really do want to talk about. We're not going to chase trends. Like if everybody's talking about like, I don't know, the new Marvel movie or what's coming out soon, Megan 2.0, which we saw the trailer for today.
That was crazy.
Which was unbelievable. It had me on the floor laughing.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your vaginas.
That's an actual line for the trailer. I can't believe I saw that. We always just want to do something interesting. Even if it's something that a lot of people don't know about. I mean, some of the movies we talk about in the batches that we've recorded are stuff that very few people have seen, really.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't really judge your own. It's probably like it's impossible to accurately judge your own talent or ability without having some kind of actual metrics you can look at of a time you've done it before successfully. But we both knew and agreed pretty immediately. Like the very first thing we wrote down in our YOBstitution was that like, yeah, we're only going to talk about something if we have something to say about it. And specifically we feel something about it. I don't know about you, but like I've discovered in my own like creative journey that like the only time I've ever made anything or written anything that I liked that I knew had at least more quality than other stuff I've done was when I was working from a place of I had a strong emotion, either coming from anger or fear or love or excitedness or depression or anything. Like if you have a strong feeling about something, it will provoke you to actually, like you have something to express. So naturally your self-expression is going to be better. And we both agreed like the only right way to do this show, whatever it's going to be, whatever we end up doing, we have to only talk about something if we really have strong feelings on it, because that's the only way you have a chance in hell of actually like creating something interesting.
Yes, it may alienate a lot of people because some of the movies we talk about, some people are just not going to like, not watch, probably not maybe want to listen to.
Probably.
But we're doing it because it's important to us. We want other people to hear it. If we crash and burn, we crash and burn, but we're not going to just chase trends and be dull. We have to be interesting.
I mean, this is kind of, I think this is a recession-proof setup because, I mean, like, we are definitely in the negative, the investment, but I mean, like, if there's anyone out there that enjoys this, at some point we'll make the money back, you know, as long as our equipment isn't constantly breaking. Although with my luck, I'm sure like I'll just fucking die tomorrow. Like, thank God my computer didn't blue screen, but it was kind of like crashing on my way here. And I'm like, of course that when I'm on my way to do like this, because we're recording quite a few episodes here because we don't live near each other. So it's, you know, we have to plan and we're doing lots of episodes. We're grinding in a weekend, you know, because like we have day jobs. But the point is that no matter what happens, I mean, like I said, this is its own reward. And I do feel like it is, I feel like I'm getting something off my chest of my love language is usually like, it's like sharing things with other people. Like, it's very hard for me to console somebody or like just be a good listener, I guess, or whatever. But the way I show people like that I care about them is I turn them on to things. I share stuff that I like that I think that they might enjoy or whatever. And this is kind of just a mass communication way of doing that, is like, I'm finally going to have a soapbox. Whoever's listening to it doesn't really matter because I have an outlet to share things that I think are transformative and deserve more attention, more love, and also a chance to really point out the things that I don't think get called out for what they really are when they're bad, because I have a strong, like, my sense of morality is deeply tied to my sense of like what quality is, you know, like if you make bad stuff, you're a bad person, you're going to prison.
One thing I was constantly thinking about is the movie Collateral during this, because we were both talking about Michael Mann in one of these episodes. And one very important scene from there is Jamie Foxx is a cab driver, and he has this dream of creating this island limo company. Yeah. And he's like, no, man, it's silly. I don't know if I'll ever get off the ground. He's like constantly dragging his feet and saying what ifs. That really was a very, like, you know, inspiring moment where I'm just like, look, we're going to buy all the stuff, make the podcast, cut out all the foam, tuck tape to the cardboard, you know, send my roommate out so we can record. If we crash and burn, we crash and burn, but we're doing it.
You know, I think you're manifesting us crashing and burning by saying this so much.
I just want to say, if it happens, it happens. But if at the moment when I'm declaring bankruptcy in court, I can be like, look, I gave it a try. I'm not going to be like a wimp who just didn't do anything his entire life that he wanted to do.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've been asleep for a very long time. Because, I mean, I'm not like, I mean, I doubt Steven Spielberg was actually one of these people. But according to his own life story, he was like that kid with the camera who was just always filming things and stuff. And I'm not somebody who was always making short films and writing things and doing stuff. But I do feel like I'm just in a mental loop of unhappiness when I'm not working on something that's some kind of expression. And having this definitely makes me feel normal and feel sane. And I mean, you listening can judge what you're about to hear in the sequential episodes and guess what I was like before the podcast based on some of the things I say on this microphone.
Yes. We do want to keep it a little bit vague about stuff. I mean, we have no problem saying our name or that we're in Washington. I mean, I assume at first a lot of people that we know are just going to be listening to this.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't want to make it seem like, what is it called? We don't want to create a parasocial relationship where somebody's listening and thinks that they know everything about us. There has to be some mystery.
Yeah, we don't want them to think that they're like our family or like our brothers or something.
Yeah, and we may get people who are like 4chan level smart who can like isolate the noise and deduce where I live by like a plane flying overhead or like a cat screeching outside. Do not come to my door asking to be in an episode.
Yeah, if we don't want parasocial relationships, we really picked a good name for the show, you know?
Yes, to imply that we're members of your family.
We don't want to encourage that sort of thing. Yeah, if you're normal, we want you listening, but if you're not, please turn it off now. But stay subscribed to the Patreon. Still pay us. Still pay. Yeah. Don't listen.
Keep that subscription running so we can eat.
Yeah, we need food. My baby hungry. They taking food out of my baby's mouth.
My baby hungry. My baby starving.
I just watched Spring Breakers yesterday.
Yeah, for one of the episodes, I mean, Caleb watched Spring Breakers for the first time, and Gucci Mane is so fat and stupid in that movie. He's just like, my baby's starving. My baby need to eat.
Would you say that you're like me in that you also primarily like express affection through sharing things?
Yes. I don't know what it's called, like the love language or something. Mm-hmm. One of them is like gift giving.
Oh, yeah.
Giving to people stuff that you think they will like and then seeing the happiness on their face when they're just like, oh, this is awesome. Like when we were watching, I showed Caleb Norm Macdonald's movie Dirty Work for one of the episodes we do.
Best movie ever.
And Caleb was chuckling the entire time. Yeah. I felt like a dad, like taking his kid to like Six Flags or something. Kid's like, this is the best day ever. I get to skip school.
You felt like a dad taking your son to a prostitute for the first time. You're standing outside. You're like, oh, did I do right by him?
If that's how it felt for you, man, I'm happy for you.
Did you know that's how Oliver Stone lost his virginity?
Really?
Yeah, his dad took him to a prostitute when he was like 16.
You didn't even give him a chance to try it himself.
No.
Damn.
Yeah.
If he was like 23 and he's like, son, you're gay. Yes, you need to fuck.
You're a loser. I'm going to take you to a whore. No, he's just like, all right, kid, get your shoes on.
Damn.
One of our other rules for this show is that we need to make sure that we're never getting to a point where we are unironically just actually preaching about like, our opinions, our takes, what is or isn't good. Even though we kind of do that, like, we at least have the sense to like still be funny during that, Yeah,
we are making a case for stuff we believe in, which is honestly what everybody does when they like something strongly enough.
Sure.
But we're doing it because we believe people may not know about it or that we have enough evidence to maybe convince people who are thinking the other way.
Yeah.
We don't want to be like a YouTube movie reviewer who's standing on his soapbox, morally grandstanding like so many people do.
And I don't want to paint myself in a corner where it's like the format of the show is that each episode we're doing this. Like, I really like the idea of leaving it open. Like, we've recorded many episodes so far. Some of them are just kind of us having like really extended conversations about like all kinds of things. And some of them are like we're reviewing a movie. Some of them are we've done a commentary track. Like, I want to make sure that this show has some variety to it because, one, it frees us up to always be trying to improve, innovate, or, like if our rules, like our primary rule that I think is the most important is that first thing we went over of like, we need to make sure that we're only getting on the microphone about something we care about. Because there are so many podcasts that are just like, you can tell the people, and not even just podcasts, but just shows like DIY content. You can tell the people doing it have lost their passion for it, but they've really painted themselves into a corner by having like, this is the one thing they do. And it's so important, in my opinion, to just like keep us open to make the show whatever we feel like, really. Like, what you're really listening for if you're a fan of us is like, you're really just listening to the way that we communicate, and like hopefully our sense of humor is good enough to kind of get you through that. Even if we're talking about something that you could not give a shit about, we're making it interesting. The way that if your older brother is standing in your doorway and like discussing something to you that you could not give a fuck about, you're still like not hating him for life.
Yes. If at the very least we are interesting background noise.
Sure.
Like how some people fall asleep to YouTube. I'll be happy. Yeah. As long as we're getting the ad revenue. I mean, people will listen to what we do in different ways. We can't enforce how anybody's going to do this. That's something we had to realize early on.
Yes, we can.
We're not going to have like devout like apostles like preaching, our dogma.
You just don't have a vision, man. I'm picturing we are cult leaders in 5 years.
You're picturing people doing our bidding.
Yes.
We're having calls to action against Steven Spielberg and other directors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a free country. Do what you want.
I kind of picture us as like, if we gain any kind of notoriety of any kind, or just any kind of profile, even the most minor of profiles, like with the most minor modicum of success, I do picture us as outsiders in this space, because like,
yes.
There's like the quote unquote comedy podcasts of like comedians just like talking about politics basically, and like, whatever Chuck Schumer did this week, and it's completely stale. And
it's like who cares?
Wow, it's really crazy, man. Like it's like a Joe Rogan sphere of like podcasting, and then like we have like one toe in that like we are like comedically minded people. Like neither of us are capable of like just being serious,
yes.
At all. So like we definitely like comedically minded, but also like we do genuinely have like passion for like really meaningful art that like makes us feel less alone.
I mean, we just had an entire, like, at least 2-hour-long episode where I dumped, like, my favorite director to you.
Yeah.
Who you had pretty much no knowledge of beforehand.
No.
Yeah, so that type of vulnerability or, ability to show someone something that you like. I mean, I took, like, so many notes for that. But I still found it fun. I didn't feel like it was homework. Like you're showing, like when you're dating a girl for the first time and you have to be like, shit, I have to be careful about what I show her. Because if I show her the wrong thing, she's going to think I'm lame. She's going to think I'm gay. She's going to just not talk to me again. But with you, I'm just like, yeah, so there's this movie that's completely dog shit and I want you to watch it.
I mean, Julian Donkey Boy, which I am a fan.
Yes.
I'm a fan, but I don't think there's anyone I know that I could tell them I watched that movie and like because like anyone I know who listens to this and is now Googling what Julian Donkey Boy is, like, if you're not going to like it. At least I'm pretty sure, like the people that I know
broadly,
like my close family, my close friends. I don't think, I mean, who knows? Cause I wouldn't have thought that I would have liked it. And I did. So, you never know. But like, I mean, the character of Julian, like I'm going to be forever changed by experiencing this stuff, and if any listener out there has the same experience, I feel like we've done our job.
That was the best episode to record, honestly, because if you guys don't know, that movie is about a guy named Julian who has severe schizophrenia, and he talks in a very specific way. Caleb and I were doing his voice. We've been doing it for like 3 days straight.
It makes me laugh so hard I hurt.
He has this way of speaking where he's constantly trying to get every word out at the same time. So he was like, I can't go, I want to go. So he has that way of speaking, and then eventually transformed into like calling each other gay, making fun of each other, like, suck my dick, you're gay, suck my dick. What do you want? Suck my ass, fuck my ass. You want to fuck my ass, suck my dick.
Your Julian impression is so good. I mean, I don't think I've seen a funnier scene in a movie ever than watching, what's his name? Emmett Berger? Ewan Bremer.
Emmett Berger.
It sounds like what is Edward Berger is the director of All Quiet. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Ewan Bremer.
Ewan Bremer from Trainspotting. Watching him in a basement with his with his in character as Julian the schizophrenic, going, "Hi Liller, speaking so fucking quickly, can't even discern what he's saying."
Julian constantly has conversations with Hitler where he's asking him questions. So we would be like, Hitler, I have a question for you. Hitler, let me ask you something. Hitler, what do you think about what? Hitler, what do you think of stock?
And we're living through a very concerning time for anyone who cares about art, because like you open up Instagram, you open up Twitter, and it's just AI videos about Hitler, basically.
Oh, yeah.
There's watch Julian Donkey Boy from 2002, and you're like, oh my, this is weirdly timely now.
Yes, I did a test the other day where I'm like, if I open Instagram Reels, how quickly can I find Peter Griffin saying the N-word? And it was like the first 5 videos.
Yeah, we're fucked. We're so cooked.
It's really constant. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, like the way we're laughing right now is how we felt after recording every episode. We've been having such a great time. Yeah. And hopefully we can pass that on to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that we also wanted to be clear on when we were making this is everybody always has a political bias and they have beliefs in multiple things, but we didn't want to explicitly state anything that we believe in. It's not that we didn't want to alienate members of our audience, but we also think it's not really anybody's business, and nobody wants to hear that. Like, you're coming here to listen to maybe comedy, or your coworker who talked about his podcast, or it's a member of your family, but you didn't come here to hear the news.
No.
You didn't come here to hear what we think about, like, the current administration. I mean, we have thoughts, but they're going to stay secret unless we're just taking the piss out of something stupid that happened. Yeah. Not to be a nihilist, but it's a game where nobody ever wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no reason to play a game where you're not going to end out on top in some sense.
I don't even feel like I can keep my beliefs private, because I at least I try to just be like an agnostic on the thing at this point. Like, there's the objective reality of what decisions are made by people in power and how they affect people, but there's so little you can do about it that regardless of what you believe, like, I do have my own morals and I do believe in things, but I don't think of them as even in the same genre of belief as politics. Like, politics feels like a fake sport invented to just distract you.
Yes.
Not that I'm like, I mean, everyone says that, like.
Yeah, we're not trying to say anything deep here, but it's really like, there's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point in discussing it here. This isn't the forum for this. This is, if anything, escapism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be the, like, people that are speaking as, like, a moral voice of whatever area. Because I guarantee you, if you have an idea in your mind of what Caleb and I believe, you are completely wrong in a lot of ways.
I agree with you on that, because I constantly say things for humor that I do not think at all.
Yes.
And I know you do too. Yeah.
Or Caleb thinks I'm an extremist in a certain sense, but it's the complete opposite.
Well, I say that on the podcast to make you look bad. But I mean, we've had enough conversations. Like, I at least know about you. Like, I know that you get it.
Yeah.
You know, but it is also sometimes funny to just like, it's funny to choose. Actually, this is something that originally I typed in the YOBstitution. We took it out because we were both kind of agreed, like, yeah, we already know that, like, this is kind of pointless because this is just who we are. Like, it is genuinely super entertaining to just decide to just take an opinion or a take and just start defend, like, playing devil's advocate, something you don't actually believe in at all, just to entertain yourself when you're talking to someone who's boring, you know?
Yes, we literally couldn't care less. And it's not nice in the sense of, do you know the term Schrodinger's asshole? Have you heard of that?
No.
So, like, you know, the experiment with Schrodinger's cat, it's like he's in a box, and until you observe it, you don't know if it's dead or alive. Schrodinger's asshole is like, you'll always have that friend who would say something like controversial and then would read the room to see people were laughing with him and decide if he's kidding.
Oh, okay.
There are a lot of people who are just like, yeah, like, I don't believe in this. And then they kind of gauge the waters about, like, do I really believe what I say? They wait for a response. We really couldn't care less about any of that shit. We are just completely apathetic to the moral dance that a lot of people do.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've never been popular, so why would I, at age 27, why would I have any reason to chase popularity?
What I'm trying to say is we're not trying to be apathetic to appear cool. We genuinely do not care about anything other than the stuff we talk about on the podcast.
You know what's funny? Is, like, when you say that kind of makes it sound like you're really trying to just sell someone on it, like you're trying to convince yourself of it.
Yeah, I guess it is ironic, isn't it?
It is impossible to, I think, genuinely impossible to explain to another, unless it's literally me to you, where it's like, I know that your brain chemistry is similar enough to mine that I'm pretty sure you'll get it. I think it is impossible to express to somebody else, like, no, it really doesn't bother me, or like, I really don't care about that, because all anyone hears is like, I care a lot, you know?
I guess the only way you can confirm that is if you listen to every episode we put out and subscribe to the Patreon to get double the episodes every month.
That's true. You have to psychoanalyze us.
Yes. Please, let us be your guinea pigs. Give us $5 a month. We'll do it for you.
I definitely need, going back to something you talked about a little while ago, you mentioned, because I mentioned I'm very easily influenceable, like, you know, because I think I'm generally a pretty open-minded person, usually. I mean,
sure.
I try not to judge. If someone starts talking to me about something, or somebody's like trying to explain something to me that I actually do know about, but it's more polite to just be like, oh, tell me about that. Like, you know, because someone thinks they're sharing it with you. I'm pretty open to, even if someone's doing that and I don't know, and I'm pretty sure they're wrong, I try to be open-minded because like I've just had many times in my life where my ideology about something or my judgment of something just completely flipped as soon as my ignorance was removed slightly by just receiving information. But I feel so unmoored by those realizations and so like insecure about my ability to like, at least in the moment, use like critical thinking to come to the right conclusion that I feel like I just need entertainment. Like this podcast, I feel like is the way for me to like keep myself honest of like, I really don't fucking know anything. So I should just shut the fuck up and just like talk about bad movies.
Yeah.
And like really crazy like world events and like little observations I have about humanity. And just kind of like this podcast is like my place to just like dump my id, you know?
Yes. This is therapy in a sense for us.
Yeah. I would say not even in a sense. I mean, I've been to therapy very briefly when I was young, and I would say it was pretty much entirely useless.
Yeah, same.
Got nothing out of it. I mean,
pretty much, you get like one thing where it's like, oh, maybe I should think positively.
Yeah.
And they're just like, that would be $150, please.
I think if you have a therapist, I mean, who knows, depending on the person and, you know, who you are and everything. But like, I think if you have a therapist who is genuinely invested in you and really cares about helping you solve your problems, it's probably very useful to pretty much anyone who's taking it seriously and being honest with their therapist.
Sure.
But like, that really is just a crapshoot of like, you're just hoping you're getting someone who is not jaded by the job and is intelligent and also is like similar enough to you or you have enough in common that they can see your humanity and that they're not kind of just judging you and stuff. But that's kind of what we have with each other because like, I mean, just talking to a friend, you have someone who's not judging you anyway. But I think we have enough in common that this podcast kind of does work as therapy for us. Like we kind of know where the other one's coming from and we've both had, and you know, maybe we've talked about it on some episodes that you should listen to on the Patreon. We've both had like similar things where it's like, well, you ever notice that like humanity's capable of this in this circumstance where it's like impolite things that nobody really talks about, but if you're really engaging in the human experience and like trying to get to the bottom of like why we do what we do, like you're going to have some uncomfortable thoughts, you know? And I think it is cathartic and useful to try to figure them out. And I think doing that together is good radio.
Yes. How you reduce your suffering is suffering with other people.
Oh yeah.
It's always better to be with someone when you're in a bad state than alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. One thing that was also interesting about this entire process is we're like constantly learning new things about each other. Like we were pretty decently acquainted with the personal beats of our lives when we became good friends, you know, talking like Discord, playing Counter-Strike and stuff like that. But I mean, like every time you come over to record or we're just hanging out, I feel I'm just like, oh, I didn't realize Caleb had experienced that or had been through that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What was your first impression? Like, what did you picture? Because obviously the more you know someone, they become less of a stereotype and more of an actualized individual.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of me? I'm very curious to learn this with certain people.
Okay. Yeah. For the record, the first time I ever technically met Caleb was I went over to our mutual friend's apartment where he was living with him. And I met him for literally 10 seconds. And it was just a thing, like really a formality of just like, oh, that's my roommate, Caleb. And I'm like, hey, Caleb. And he's like, hey. And then barely remember it. The impression I first got through our mutual friends once we became reacquainted or technically got acquainted for the first time, I guess if you want to say it that way, was you were the...
Don't sugarcoat it.
Any way this comes out. Yeah, I'm not trying to sugarcoat. Any way this comes out is going to sound weird, but you were always like the wild card.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Actually, yeah, explain that.
Wild card in the sense of just like not as standard. Sometimes you may have opinions in line with somebody or, you know, behavior wise, you know, you'll act like they're other friends or completely different. Not that you were ever like crazy. Unpredictable in the sense that I didn't know if you were comfortable hanging around your friends in the same way that I was, in the sense that like you're out with a group of friends and everybody's having a good time, but sometimes you like don't feel part of the group. And the way I'll explain this and how we connect is like I always felt like that too, where it's like everybody could be like in the group having a fun time, but you always feel like the odd duck out. You kind of have, what's it called? Like imposter syndrome. You're just like, I really don't belong here. But I feel like in my mind, I'm not saying you think this, but in my mind, I felt like you and I both had that same mindset. And that's why we connected. We both felt like outsiders in the friend group, where every friend group kind of has splinter groups. where you kind of have like the main group and then like one or two people who are like, yeah, we're like the really good friends here. Not saying that I'm not good friends with the other ones, but you and I seem like to have a more soulful connection. Not to get gay on it, but it really felt like you and I were operating on a different level.
I think I'm following you. And if I'm understanding you right, you're kind of on the money about me in some ways. Because I definitely, is there anything I said that indicated this? Is this like, because I don't really remember, because honestly, when we met, I was 2 weeks out of back surgery. I was on an insane regimen of painkillers, and I was mentally changing.
You weren't saying crazy shit, but the one thing that I think solidified it was I was telling a joke, and the other people in our friend group, like, you know, at minimum tolerated it, but you found it funny.
Oh, okay.
And it was definitely like a real like tongue-in-cheek, like something I don't want to repeat here.
Sure. Very impolite gamer talk.
Yeah, locker room talk. But yeah, Caleb found it really funny, and the other people were like, yeah, you know. I mean, they probably laughed at it. I'm just misremembering it and being too hard on myself. But at that moment, I'm just like, okay, Caleb, I had the idea. I'm just like, are you, you know, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Are you like me?
This is... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, at that moment, I was just like, I wonder if Caleb and I are like twins.
Like, are we going to be best friends? Yeah, that's interesting for you to hear. You kind of have me pegged in some ways. I mean, I definitely, one of the defining moments, this is so sad, and I do not mean this in a feel sorry for me way, by the way. For the record, this is not a sob story. This is not a feel bad for me, whatever.
Okay.
One of the defining moments to me of my life was when I was in the like third grade, I went to a friend's birthday party that was at a pool, and I was not a like confident swimmer, at least in like deep end, whatever, like when I couldn't touch, until like something just like changed in me a little later. And then I became like a literal fish where like you could not stop me from swimming. But at this time I was not like a super confident swimmer. My friend had a birthday party at a pool. And when I went to the party, all the kids were in one section of the pool where it was like shallow enough we could touch. And then if you just went out, it was like not like 12 feet deep, but it was like deep enough like we could drown if you weren't keeping yourself up. And then there was a separate pool right next to it that was like shallow all the way through. And I remember that when I got there, they were like, oh yeah, you have to be able to swim like from like before you can get in this one, you have to be able to be in this other shallow pool and swim like down and back like a couple of times or whatever without touching so that we know you can swim. I couldn't do it. And no one at the party. So I just had to hang out in the shallow pool.
Oh, no.
Or just hang out on the side of the fun pool everyone was in. I could not get in the pool with the rest of the kids. And not that it was anyone's responsibility to like come join me and like leave the fun thing or whatever. But I was sitting there. I think I left the party early because I was just having such a bad time.
Yeah, you're just like, fuck this.
But I distinctly remember sitting there like and being caught in this mental loop of like, why is nobody willing to come like spend some time with me? Because I remember thinking, even though I was like young, I remember having this like deep, like this like rage built in me of like, if this was my party, like I would go say hi to me at least, you know, and like no one did it.
Yes.
And I was also an obnoxious ADHD kid, so I understand why it didn't happen. But, you know, but anyway, that aside, but that moment, that feels like a definite, like if there was a movie of my life, that would be the opening little prologue scene that like explains me.
That's your Joker origin story.
Yes, yeah. And then you cut, if this was like an Adam Sandler comedy, then you cut to modern me and, you know, like I'm at the pool, but I'm 16 and I still can't swim or whatever. Like that'd be like the Norm Macdonald, like dirty work reveal scene, you know?
Yeah.
But this is all a super long-winded way of getting around to saying that like, well, the first thing you mentioned of like seeing myself as the outsider. I mean, by the way, everyone sees themselves as the outsider.
Yes.
But it like really is true for me. I'm holding an indignant finger in the air, but it is true. And like, it's, that feeling that I had that day has never left. And I don't remember feeling it before that, but that sounds way more dramatic than it is. But I do remember having this realization of like, I just had this feeling that like, I'm not worth other people's time. Again, more dramatic than it sounds. But when you're a kid, this is like big.
This is like the worst thing that has happened to you in your life.
Yeah, because it's embarrassing.
It is.
And then you know, and then that kind of developed this like just defiance in me of like, if I don't think I'm going to be accepted somewhere, not only am I not going to try, I'm going to intentionally hate with like a passionate venom the thing that I won't be accepted at. Where like, you know, like I didn't attend my prom and I don't feel bad about this. Like I don't regret it. But like, I mean, I guess I would have done it differently now that I'm normal and I like grew up, got married, and like discovered some mental stability. I try really hard to hide that I have that imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it's not that I see like in inkling of it in your soul or anything. I mean, I've always been good at like having people feel included. Like, you know, you're talking with your friends at like recess and like elementary school, and like multiple people are like vying for your attention. And I feel like a lot of people just kind of pay attention to one guy, but I always try to like, you know, dole out like equal. Like my friend says something and I'll be like, I'll respond to you and you. So I've always like tried to, you know, practice some like diplomacy, you know, extend the olive branch, or maybe just see what, you know, feel someone out, see what they're talking about.
Because you would want it to happen for you.
Yes, I want to be the change that I want to see in the world.
Exactly.
So if I can be the person that can include one guy who's like maybe having a bad day, and make it, you know, for the better.
Definitely.
Yes, I wanted if it literally, it's like returning a shopping cart where it is just genuinely the right thing to do, and I don't feel like I'm spending effort doing it. It is just something that comes naturally for me to like listen to you. Like there have been many times where, you know, we've been talking and then you're talking passionately about a subject and I'm not cutting you off. I'm interested in what you're saying, which is why we have a really good dichotomy where I'm like actively listening and asking questions and just letting you have your autistic rant.
But I do cut you off is where you're going with this.
No.
Because I do have an interrupting problem.
No, I mean, it's not as bad as you think you are. Sometimes you'll cut off a sentence, but no. No, you're fine, dude. See, I'm extending the olive branch now. I'm saying you're
compliment me. Compliment me or I'll kill myself.
Caleb is not balding.
Okay.
That's a good compliment. You said compliment you.
Okay.
Yeah. Most men, they're losing it now, dude. But you still got it.
Are most men losing it at our age?
At 25, you start to get like the Norwood, like male pattern baldness.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't got it. Yeah. For the record, I have like kind of long hair.
Yeah.
Caleb's like a bit like, you know, what is that? 4 on top. 4 on the sides.
Yeah.
No, he's got it. He's got the widow peak, but he's still got the sides.
Let's can I just steer us in a direction?
Sure.
Let's talk about our insecurities, because I just talked about one of mine, and I think this is going to be a good way of us getting our psychology documented for the listeners.
Okay, if you want.
People not listening. Hey, we can cut it out if it sucks, but you know, like let's get into ourselves here.
All right, Dr. Phil.
So, Nick, what is your biggest regret in life?
Oh my God.
Or actually, that's a joke question, but here's the real question. Like, do you have an equivalent of something that sticks out in your mind of like, this is my defining origin moment?
I mean, I don't know if it's a moment, but I guess it's just like an overall like fact of my life is like, I really have like almost no extended family. Like a lot of people have a ton of like, you know, cousins and like siblings. It's like I have one brother, I have a handful of cousins, and everyone else is dead.
Wow.
Yes. So, I mean, I have my immediate family who are all thankfully, you know, God willing, alive and healthy. But yeah, I mean, I have, I think 3 cousins, like in total.
And that's it outside of the nuclear family.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, there really is just like, yeah. I mean, it's very, I mean, talking to people growing up and they're just like, oh yeah, my cousin lives with me, my half brother, I have like, you know, 9 siblings or something. It's like, that's true of like other generations of my family, but it's like, yeah, I got my brother, you know, my brother doesn't have kids yet. You know, I don't have any half siblings from like secret families or whatever. Nothing really interesting, but
that you know about.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you can never know. I could have someone could knock on the door and he just looks like me, but he's black. He's like, "Hey, man, you Nick?"
Yeah, that could happen. You're right.
It could theoretically happen. I guess my dad was taking trips to Atlanta.
Where is this going?
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I guess that probably is an insecurity. It's like, you know, once someone in my family's gone, I mean, a big part's gone. If like, if an aunt died, 10% of my family's dead. So, I mean, for other people, that's not true. But I mean, I really just have to go out and have like 20 kids, like Genghis Khan. I gotta be constantly bussing.
Can I psychoanalyze you a little bit?
Go ahead.
So my first impression of you was actually not related to talking to you or meeting you or anything. The first impression I got of you was when I was in my first year of college and met our mutual friend Chris. I downloaded Twitter for the first time in like 3 years or something. I was like, I'm going to get back on social media. Let's see what this is about.
Yeah.
And I followed them, and I was like following celebrities I like and stuff. And when I followed Chris, you know, when you follow somebody, it like suggests like people that they're like possible mutual friends. One of the first accounts that came up, can I say what it was?
Sure.
It's what your is.
We'll censor it out, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, then I don't have to. I mean, but one of the suggested ones was this account, and Chris, I think, saw it, or maybe I just said it out loud. And he's like, "Oh, that's my friend Nick," and for no particular reason, I just tapped on it, was curious, and I saw some really interesting tweets on this account. I saw what looked like literally if you just transcribed like the Joker's joke book from Joaquin Phoenix movie. It was just like, I mean, some of it was like really funny, like some of it was like actual jokes that, like, you know how comedians used to just tweet jokes all the time, like back in like 2011 like, I mean, they still quote unquote do it, but it's just garbage now. Like,
yeah,
some of them were like crafted jokes, and I remember looking at it and I was like, is this his like alt like I'm trolling account? And Chris is like, no.
That's just Nick.
And then I forgot about this. I mean, like, you know, life goes on. Fast forward to, and then I guess we met at some point like a year later, but I don't really remember. But fast forward to when we were right about to meet over Discord. Right after my surgery, while I was adjusting to a very strong dose of oxycodone that I was taking every day, and that really loosens you up and gives you some confidence. And I'm not a confident person generally. I'm confident in my beliefs, but I'm very insecure about people hating me. And so if I haven't heard from somebody in a while, it's very hard for me to be the first one to reach out, because I feel like then I don't know, like I'm bothering them or something. And I just had this confidence that I hadn't had in a long time of like, hey, I'm just going to like go through my phone contacts, and anybody who I haven't really spoken to or spoken very much to lately, I'm just going to send them a text like, hey, how are you doing? And I don't think I had communicated with Chris or Nick in like months and months and months.
Yeah. And
I was like, well, I'm not going to be the first one, because that's just my problem. And Nick and Chris both responded and were like, and I mentioned like the surgery I'd gone through, and they both responded very generously, like pretty much immediately, with like condolences for the situation I was in, and like we were just kind of catching up and having a good time. And they were like, oh yeah, we've actually just started playing Counter-Strike a lot, and like we made a Discord, we'll add you to it and whatnot. And that's how we started talking, because you were in there.
Yeah.
And they mentioned, they're like, yeah, it's just us and then Chris's friend Nick. And I'm like, is this? And I don't know why I remembered this, but I was like, is this the guy that was on Twitter that you showed me? And Chris is like, I don't remember that.
This is an insane person.
And I was like, is this the guy? Like, he was whatever. And then determined it was you. And I'm like, his name was. Oh, sorry.
Bleep that.
Bleep that.
Keep going.
But I'm like, this was his name, and then Chris is like, yes, that is him. And I was like, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah, I know who that is. Chris, I'm like, is that the real him, or is that him being a character? And Chris is like, that's the real him. And I was like, okay. And I was a little scared because scared is the wrong word. I was a little nervous about whether or not, you know, I was trying to hide, but I'll be completely honest. So I was probably about to say something that's kind of untrue to make it sound less pathetic than it is. At that moment, I was like, well, I'm a little nervous to interact with this person over Discord, because someone who has the balls to do that online and be that like, just, this is who I am, this is my sense of humor, someone who's that like confident is going to be someone who fucking hates me, because I am the opposite of that. And he's probably going to be like, who is this fucking and convince my other friends to hate me. Like, that is the paranoid delusion. And again, I was on oxycodone. And it was prescribed to me for pain, but it does affect you. It does, change. And I went through this like paranoid delusion, but then we started talking and immediately I was like, oh, I love this guy.
Yes, it was an immediate kinship. There wasn't anything of just like, hey, how are you? It was just like, hey, we're friends.
Yeah. This is, again, a very long-winded, because that's how I talk, way of saying that to analyze you a little bit, my initial assumptions were 100% wrong. Just, have you ever had like a friend group where there's that one guy that when there's like a new person in the group, they just have to make sure that that person doesn't become close with anybody, so they just like call that person out constantly and just like, you know what I'm talking about?
They enforce the pecking order.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I've been in multiple friend groups where there was someone like that, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be that guy. And I don't even know why. That's a really unfair assumption to make, but I made some connection subconsciously, and that is not you at all. You're actually a very gentle, warm, like really like silly, like normal person that you're really not what you advertise online.
I mean,
which is interesting.
When I was in high school, which was actually the height of my Twitterdom, I was like constantly getting in trouble. I was like almost expelled once because of that. And it is really funny that like people see that and like, you know, having to talk to police because of said account and all that shit.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. Anybody who listens to this, email and tell Caleb that I'm telling the truth. But there are a lot of people that's just like, oh man, this guy is awful. And they get to know me and they're just like, you are completely different. I'm like, yeah, I wonder if that's like an outlet for my creativity and my id or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe I'm just, dicking around. Because, I mean, I never really took it seriously. I never wanted to do like, I wasn't like doing a character. It really was just a stream of consciousness of, if I don't say something, my brain is going to hurt. I'm just having like autistic meltdowns about random shit that nobody cares about.
So that's a definite thing we share, because I have that too, where if I can't say this to somebody, or at least like what we're doing now, like even if no one listened, I'm saying it to you at least, like I need to express this thing to another person, or at least put it out publicly. I need to get this off my chest, or I'm going to go insane. I don't know what that is, and it's probably not healthy, but I definitely sympathize with that.
Yeah.
One other rule, it's funny because that was like such a tangent. One other rule we made was that we were not going to just give in to like nihilism, blackpilling, being a hater, because that kind of comes naturally for us. Like we're both like, okay, cut the shit kind of personalities. You know, like, okay, you know, like if we think we're hearing something disingenuous, we both are like a very strong-willed about being like, okay, no, shut the fuck up. What I want to try to do and practice and be better about, because I haven't been perfect about this with the ones we recorded thus far that the listener is going to hopefully listen to soon once they finish this episode. I want to try to just be a more positive person and be less like snap judgmental about things, because that is funny. It is funny to be that way, but it is like corrosive to your soul.
Yes, it is very easy to hate things. It's extremely hard to be vulnerable constantly and let things into your heart and like profess your love for like a movie, a person, anything like that. It's the reason why probably, you know, I'm getting pretty meta here, that the world is so bad is that it is very easy to just like completely disregard people or things. Mm-hmm. It takes only slightly more effort to vaguely like something. I mean, you can apply this to anything, honestly. But we didn't want to be constantly negative, because if you put more negativity into the world, then you're outputting like positivity. I mean, you have a net negative. You're like a psychic vampire. You are just draining. You're draining like all the good from the world by being like, man, I watched Jurassic World Dominion and it fucking sucked. I watched whatever. Yeah, I won't even get into it. I want to do more examples. I refuse to.
And I love that about you.
Yes,
because that's the person I want to be also.
Yes, we actually have only done one episode that we knew was going to be an explicitly bad movie beforehand,
which was
The Assignment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen this yet, but Caleb showed me The Assignment, which I'm excited for you guys to listen to.
Even that, we're not being haters, because here's the thing. That movie is objectively the worst thing ever made. We're not, like, being unfair to it. And actually, no, we didn't pay it any compliments. I was going to say...
There's not a single good thing.
Because I was about to say, like, and we actually did compliment a couple of things, but there really is nothing good about that.
But everything else we gave a fair shake. The stuff that we blind watched, we actually, like, watched with an open mind and thought, you know what, we're going to see how this is. And there are a lot of movies we talked about that we genuinely liked going into it, that we wanted to share with people.
And the things we've hated on, we're giving it a fair shake. Like the Alto Knights and, The Predator and... all the garbage that, that we've gone through so far, like we're not just looking for things to hate. Like some of these things are like The Predator and The Assignment are, at least as far as modern movies go, where like, in modern day where it's definitely easier to make a movie now. And like, there's just so much wrong with that stuff that it is pretty objective. Like, these are some catastrophic failures of creativity, you know, but like, we are being fair. We're not just making a show to shit on things for this isn't going to be YMS.
Yes. You know? This is like the equivalent of painting like beautiful murals in the bad part of town.
Yeah.
It's like, we need to...
That's a beautiful way of putting it.
Thank you. It's like, if you're looking at something bad, it's like, well, I could just present it as a bad thing, but I could make it look better. It's like when it's like picking up trash at the beach. Also, it's just like, leave something better than you found it.
Yeah.
Try to be transformative. Try to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see us in 5 years?
In huge mansions with tons of whores.
Me too, buddy. What's your because this is the thing, like, because we talked about like we're gonna kind of like set some goals for this show, at least like privately, but we could talk about it when we did our first official episode that we actually post. Like, I guess I haven't defined it too much in my own head, because I don't want to just set pie in the sky goals that you really can't control. Like, all we can really control is just what we put into it, which is like what we've actually focused our energy on. But like, what do you want this show to be? Like, what's your ideal, am I making sense? Like, what is your ideal situation of what this show is? Is this something you see yourself doing long term? Is this something you see yourself doing like as a full-time job, you know?
I do want it to be a full-time job. I do want to devote my time to something like this. I want it to be the ultimate hangout podcast where you can like drop in, drop out anytime you want. Hopefully you're having a good time listening to us talk about something we find interesting. I mean, I know one of our goals, actually, in terms of follower count, that you're going to be like, oh, yeah, we did talk about that. We both, not to be too negative after talking about positivity, but we fucking despise Brett Gelman, this hack comic.
Oh, that's not at all where I thought you were going. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Our first goal is to get, 900 followers on Instagram?
We need to have more followers than him. I guess we're kind of stealing this a little bit. Not really, but like, he is an unbelievably just hack, bad, cringe person. I never knew his name or anything until he just became like he's one of those people on Twitter. I think he's kind of calmed down about it now, but he was just one of those people during like the early days of the like strikes in Gaza, where he was just like, he just like wouldn't acknowledge the perspective that Israel was doing anything wrong.
He couldn't realize that like children were dying, and he was immediately being just like, they have a right to defend themselves.
he would just go online and like, he wouldn't technically defend Israel's actions, but he also was just like, there's just a lot of concerning speech about Zionism and anti-Semitism, and you know, when you say that, and then a lot of people started calling him out, and instead of just owning up and be like, oh yeah, I was a dipshit, he just doubled down. And started constantly pretending like he's like, you know, there's so many, I'm all day on Twitter, I'm just seeing anti-Semites just like coming at me because I'm Jewish. And it's like, no, they're coming at you because you fucking suck.
Because you're a fucking dumbass.
Yes. And then Ben Avery from the Tim Dillon Show got in like a very public Twitter feud with him, where he was like, he tweeted that Brett Gelman had been killed in an Israeli missile strike. And it went like semi-viral. And he's like, rest in peace, Brett Gelman. Like, the details are unknown. And like and then like Brett Gelman, like, I think blocked him on Twitter. And I was like, oh, and then that's how I started, you know, that was my way into like, oh, what's going on here? And then a while ago, I was listening to his podcast. And he was talking about how Brett Gelman was starting a podcast.
Yes.
And then I looked it up and I sent you some clips, and it's just like, it's like him and his like definitely not agent wife, definitely not handler wife, talking about just like absolutely nothing and being the most like just of all time. And I think their Twitter account has like 800 followers, and I think your immediate response was like, okay, Caleb, we have to get more followers than that.
Yes, it is shooting quite high for the first goal, but I do believe Brett Gelman is just a bad person who does not deserve to have really any following, because anyone I talk to He's really, I don't know anybody who's a Brett Gelman fan. He's kind of ridden on the coattails of other people at Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I hated him was back in the day when Sam Hyde had a show on Adult Swim.
That's right.
He launched a huge campaign where he's like, there's hidden messages in here.
Yeah, he's like, this is he like quit his show, which I think his show is like failing, by the way. And he's like,
absolutely.
It's not bad ratings. It's that it's a moral thing. And
yes.
Yeah.
And he instantly was just like, either I walk or Sam walks. And then he had some swing with like Tim Heidecker.
What is this voice?
You know exactly what this voice is. Don't play dumb.
No, I just mean why do it? Why whatever?
Because that's how he sounds. But anyway, Brett was just instantly some huge tattletale asshole. That's one thing I hate. I fucking hate like hall monitors. People that are going, actually, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
People like Brett Gelman do not deserve careers if they're going to be constantly tattling on people who are more talented than them out of jealousy.
Oh, yeah.
This is the most negative thing I think I'm probably going to say during this episode, but the first goal is going to be to beat Brett Gelman in the ratings, and the moment we do that, we are just going to be constantly shitting on him.
We'll do a breakdown. We'll do an episode where we really go through his podcast and break down just how good it is.
Yes, because he's one of those people where Caleb and I wanted to start a podcast to talk about interesting things. Brett wanted to do it because he needed a source of income. There was literally no other reason. He's not saying anything of substance. Him and his wife are like, we can make money off this. He really is a parasite. He is ridden just on the coattails of people who are way more talented for too long. And I think it's time for some I think we need a
He is definitely like, if there's anyone on Earth that you could describe as a parasite insect, like, you know what? He would actually, you know what?
What?
He would clip that and be like, this is anti-Semitism. He's
look,
calling me vermin.
Look at what they're saying about us.
You know, you're literally vermin, Brad. Like, you're literally the scum of the earth. Like, we've talked in many episodes now. Like, I'm pretty confident in my ability to read people or at least see when people are bad people. And you watch him for 5 minutes, you're like, Sometimes people ascribe certain quirky character traits. They go, oh, this person's that's just charisma, or that's just a quirk or whatever. And it's like, no. He is a terrible, soulless monster.
Yes, Brett Gelman, you're a fucking homunculus, dude. If I wouldn't see meat, I would see wires. I would see an absence of anything organic.
You would just have cockroaches inside him like the Men in Black villain.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
When you die, you're just going to like completely turn into ashes and then scatter in the winds. I genuinely think that you are without humanity. I'm a positive person.
You really ripped the crap out of Brett Gelman there.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to be part of a grassroots campaign, help us beat Brett Gelman.
The grassroots
any campaign.
How about this, Brett? If what's happening in Gaza isn't so bad, let's make your and then we'll see how much of a Zionist you really are. You
Brett, we're going to have a live recording in Rafa. Meet us there. Meet us ahead of time. We'll meet you.
I'll fight him.
Oh, yeah.
We're just joking about but I would happily box him.
I would do like how Uwe Boll boxed his critics.
Yes.
This is an open invitation to Brett Gelman. I will train and we'll go in like whatever creator clash, if that's still around when you eventually hear this, when your wife shows you this. I will train in a boxing match and I'll...
He blocked me on Instagram.
Did he really?
He did. I commented, so we've both commented on some of his clips on Instagram. And by the way, I said nothing. Not only did I not say anything that's like worth like banning someone over, I haven't once, actually no, I did it once after he blocked me because I'm not blocked from the podcast account, but I'm blocked from his personal account. After he blocked me, I did leave one comment where I am critical, but literally none of my comments are even saying his show is bad, which by the way, it's the worst thing ever. His highlight clips, it looks like you just recorded someone in public for 10 seconds and made that into like, they're not like, look at this funny joke, cue, there's no reason to post those clips.
He has no highlight.
I commented, who is this for? On one of his clips, because it was just a clip of him just like telling some story of like, yeah, that's like the first time I did acid, but it was like just really like fucking cool.
Whoa, that's interesting, bro. Can you talk about that more? You fucking...
And I just commented, who is this for? And it got like 8 likes, which by the way ratioed his post, because I think his post too late.
Oh yeah, he may have like 800 followers, but he is doing shit numbers.
There's no traffic. And by the way, every comment, like literally half the comments, like Ben Avery sent me.
Yes, all the comments really are just like, "Who? This is awful."
Yeah.
Like go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every comment's negative.
Yeah. And I think he saw, and then you saw I screenshotted that, or I sent you. I didn't even actually tell you that I commented. I just like sent that in our group chat on Instagram, and then you were like, "I saw your comment, Caleb," and you hearted it, and then you left your own and you said something crazy.
Yeah, I probably can't repeat it.
Probably not.
It's yeah.
You can find it on Instagram if you scroll through all of his posts, but don't give him the views. That's evil.
No.
But I commented a few times, and there was one time where I said, like, you know, why are you doing this? I was just asking questions, but then he blocked me, and I learned that because I opened up his podcast is called and I opened up his podcast Instagram account, and in the description it's like a podcast hosted by @Brett Gelman his wife's name, but @Brett Gelman wasn't a hyperlink, it was just text, and I was like, that's weird. That was a hyperlink before. And then I searched him and nothing came up. And I'm like, he deleted his Instagram. But then I opened Instagram on Victoria's phone, and then I could see his account and went, oh my God. So he saw that, opened up his phone, searched me out, and blocked me.
We're in his head already.
I've never been prouder.
Already we're winning the information war. And this may sound negative to some people. It's like, did you just spend like 30 minutes talking about how you want to put positivity in the world? Destroying Brett Gelman's career is a net positive.
Like we said, this is a dump for our id. So, like, what are your career goals? What do you actually? We've talked about this a little bit, and you've kind of been, I wouldn't say coy, because not necessarily that you're keeping anything back. Maybe you just don't have a lot to say about it. But I am curious, like, outside of this, like, you know, let's say I had never even posed the question about a podcast, and, you know, we were just living our separate lives, whatever. Like, what do you want to do? What is your ideal career?
I think ideally, if I could do something and just always get enough money for it to cover all my expenses, like the dream career, I think I'd always just like to be some type of host, in the sense that I'm showing people new and interesting things. Like if you have like a YouTube channel where you're showing people new movies or talking about interesting things, basically like a video version of what we're doing now, but solo, is something that if I hadn't met you, I'd probably try to be doing. I'm still trying to do it, but yes, I want to just hone the craft, get better, because there are a lot of people who make versions of that are bad. Like, how many times have you like seen a video essay where it's like, he is the secret genius of Pulp Fiction, and it's like 2.5 hours long? It's like, there's no way that it should be that long.
Yeah, thank you for analyzing the most analyzed movie.
Yes. I mean, we've talked about some kind of deep cuts, which is something that I definitely want to do eventually as a solo career. Like, I find that entertaining. I do want to be the person that shows people interesting things, kind of like a movie sommelier, not to be gay about it, but showing people interesting things like, oh yeah, look at this, people don't know about this, here's some interesting facts that aren't just off the Wikipedia page. Like for some of the episodes here, I've done crazy research. I found 20-year-old YouTube videos about one of the subjects that you guys will have to wait to listen to.
YouTube's been active for 20 years, by the way.
Yes, so I'm finding them, 360p videos?
Yeah. Are you, because I was one kind of sad moment for me was when I met up with Nick and Chris, our friends, at like a bar, and we were talking. I was kind of asking like, oh yes, like what are you guys working on, whatever, and both of them were like, well, I don't really want to do film stuff anymore, you know, like, and I was like, oh. Because my personal aspirations of that were pretty dormant and dying, if not dead, for a really long time. And definitely the heart is beating again. There's like a little tick on the heart monitor for that now. Yes. But would you classify yourself in their camp or mine?
Definitely yours.
Oh, really?
I mean, for me, I don't think... Yeah, I'm definitely in the camp with you, where I still just do want to be creating stuff. I mean, I've always had a creative mindset, not like in film production or anything like that consistently. But I mean, I do have, and I wish I still had it, I remember like recording short films on my like Samsung flip phone that I had in like 2010, like the precursor when my family couldn't afford iPhones.
Yeah.
Just like with me and my friends in like 4th grade, just like shooting each other with like Nerf guns, and then they'll fall down and there's like a pre-filled like blob of ketchup that's supposed to be blood.
So you're doing like Ralph the Movie Maker videos.
Ralph the Movie Maker. He makes some of the worst shit I've ever seen.
We're going to do an episode on Ralph at some point. We got to really break it. Because you know what? Because we did a Chris Stuckman episode, and no spoilers, but I was a little critical.
Yeah. We gave tips. We gave constructive criticism.
I do have nicer things to say about Ralph than Chris. Even though
really?
And hang on. Even though the product is less, it's wanting, I do have more positive things, although I had nothing positive to say about Chris Stuckman. So,
and for the record, I did.
So if I have one nice thing to say about Ralph, but I'm very interested to do that. That would not just be a haterism episode for me, but that's kind of off topic. But
even when we talk about bad stuff like Ralph the Movie Maker or Chris Stuckman, who you guys will hear about very soon.
Yeah.
We do at least offer something constructive because I mean everybody's made bad shit before. I mean if
Not
you're
me.
like. We've only had good episodes, by the way. It's not us.
Yes.
But when creating something does take a lot of effort, even if it ends up looking bad, I mean, even if you have a crew filming stuff, I mean, there is at least some effort most of the time going into it. I do try to look on the bright side a lot because I don't want people to fail. In a perfect world, everybody would create art that was good to look at. Whether it would be like, you know, physical art, sculpting, paintings, drawing, film, music. The world really gains nothing by having stuff be bad. I mean, I guess there's entertainment in laughing at something like a movie so bad like The Room or Troll 2, where everybody's like, oh yeah, you know, we can laugh at this. And even like the filmmakers like, yeah, that was bad. But people are having a good time. I guess it's like that is also a net positive. But it would be better for the world if everything was just good.
Yeah.
You know, if it was at worst just average, I mean, imagine like how many more people would be creative. Because if people are scared of failure, they're not going to create things, which is why so many people drag their feet.
Yeah.
And never do anything. And like, I don't really want to do that. I'm afraid of failure. If people like consistently make good things and there were enough people to mold the minds of the creatives, not saying that we're going to be like some hive mind that is changing the world on a massive scale.
Yeah. But
like I said, be the change you want to see in the world.
That actually, that first thing you said reminded me of one of my favorite quotes because it's a quote that's interesting, but also like actually good advice. And it comes from one of the great visionaries of our time, Kanye West, when he said he was on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he was talking about you know that guy who walked across the Twin Towers with the pole. What's that called? You know, where you'd like tightrope walk across.
Yeah, I don't know what that word is, but
whatever. You know, but you know what I'm talking about, the man on wire guy. And he's talking about like if you drew a straight line on the ground and then you asked someone to walk on that straight line, they would do it perfectly. But if that line is, you know, 1,000,000 feet up in the air, people are so paralyzed by the fear of falling that they'll fall. You know, where it's like you're not doing anything different than what you were doing on the ground. Now, this is obviously not 100% true because he's a little bit of a child at heart, and you know, there's like wind and you're not walking on flat concrete. But it is an interesting analogy and a good point because unless you are literally walking between the Twin Towers right before blows them up.
I just almost shot vodka out my nose. Oh my god.
You know, it's funny. I say shit like that. I don't think anything of it because I'm like, I think I'm right.
That caught me so off guard. Yeah, as you were saying, what about
and then my apartment building will get hit by a plane. Anyway. It is a useful analogy, and actually I think a really good quote for kind of motivating yourself to just start working, because people do just paralyze themselves with fear and keep themselves from trying anything. And I think it is smart to have a healthy dose of realistic realistic thinking about like your actual abilities, you know, like, I mean, if you think you're going to be able to do something grand and you know, just go all out when you really don't have the skill to do so, you end up with like Megalopolis.
Yes.
Or Chris Stuckman's Julia. So,
oh my God. You guys are not ready for that.
You have to have a healthy dose of self-awareness as well. But I've definitely let a lot of my, I mean, I let a lot of time go by. Just being really honestly just bitter about what a bad experience film school was and how my time was just wasted, and letting it defeat me, and just general personal problems of mine just keep me from really trying. But I definitely feel like I'm in a good place, and I'm really excited for the future.
One of the best advices I've ever gotten was in terms of investing money, but it applies to a lot of things. Is everybody's regret when they invest is not doing it sooner. Because even if you're just afraid of making dog shit, which very well may be possible, as long as you're trying to do it, even at a young age, you will get better. There are very few people who like get worse when they keep making things their entire lives. Like if you start drawing in like 6th grade and you're drawing like the anime girls with big eyes, you know what I mean? That style that was so prevalent.
Are you talking about what you saw in my notebook earlier?
Yeah. Caleb had like Kamala Harris with big eyes and a pony body. But
I draw Kamala Harris.
I don't think you can say that. I'll get off this. But if you start drawing in the 6th grade and you keep going throughout middle school and high school, when you're an adult, 99.9% of the time, you are a better drawer. Most of the time, pretty decent. And a lot of people are just like, oh, I wish I was like drawing sooner. I wish I like had the skills. Even if you think something is going to suck that you do, suck while doing it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Nike really knew what they were saying when they famously copyrighted that phrase. Just fucking already.
Okay. They did not say that for the record.
Yeah. I don't, by the way, I don't see, because you said you see yourself, you want to make videos and, figure out some kind of way to have your own thing that you control. And I'm definitely leaning that way more than like my original aspirations of I wanted to be like I don't know if I wanted to be a director per se, but I wanted to be involved in like Hollywood movies, but Hollywood's dying and is really cringy, and you just dedicate years of your life. You make money, but even if you're successful, you're just dedicating years of your life to things that are just getting ruined by other people. So my personal interests are definitely leaning more towards doing this, but my like solo creative work at this point is pretty much just writing. I mean, I'm, that's one thing that brings me pleasure at this point, outside of this podcast. And I think I just need, anything I do, I just need to be doing something I can control, because it's just way too painful to rely on other people who will just completely fuck you over. I already had that experience, and some people can tough it out and get back on that horse, but I don't trust other people anymore.
No, there are very few people that I trust with my creative process.
Yeah.
There are people who I'll tell things, and I'm pretty sure they're probably just going to try to steal my ideas. Steal all my bits if I'm writing something.
Do you share your ideas with anyone, or are you one of those people where it's like, I'm don't say a word until it's ready?
I'm very tight-lipped.
Me too.
Yes, and until it's like in an almost like, releasable sense.
Me too.
Like, yeah, in the running up to this podcast, I've told several people, like really close friends, that I'm doing this, but fairly recently have I told people who aren't like close friends, where I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing this and it's coming out soon.
Yeah, I think there's 3 people in my life outside of our mutual friends who know that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And only one of them is family. That's how tight-lipped I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you heard about it before this first episode, just know that we're tight.
Know that we're tight. Or if it's for me, know that I was drunk and I spilled some secrets.
Caleb drunkenly told all our plans and episodes for the next year. 2
of the 3 people that know that we're recording this right now, I told because I was drunk. I was like, fuck it. Okay, guys, listen to this.
I mean, I'm sure you don't have to worry about like, Soviet type espionage of people going,
No, they're excited to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, there are a lot of people who I can tell are genuinely like, oh, it's going to be great. Like, sometimes you have that like fake enthusiasm. People are like, oh yeah, good for you. You know, there are a lot of people who are just like, can I listen to it? And I'm just like, it's not ready yet. And they're just like, please. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it is a little interesting. People, I mean, there's people who know that I'm doing something, but I haven't said what it is. And the amount of interest they have in it is kind of like a little surprising to me. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, you give a fuck? Okay.
There's actually one quote I want to say from our dear friend Chris. He gave us really good advice.
Yeah?
I asked him, how do you deal when you're creating something with, I don't know if it's called imposter syndrome necessarily for this, but when you're creating something, you have that voice in your brain where you're like, this is shit, I'm a hack, I'm bad at this. How do you deal with that voice? Because when you're doing anything, I mean, regardless of who you are, you will always hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he gave me really good advice where he said, like, if you are getting like constantly the voice in your head where you're like, this is terrible, this is irredeemable, there may be something to that. But if you have any positive thought at all where you're like, this could be good, that wasn't bad, then it probably is good. Because you're your your biggest critic.
Yeah.
So your brain is constantly going to be like, oh, this is bad. Don't be vulnerable. Don't show anybody humanity. Don't show your heart to anybody. But if your brain is like, you know what, that was fine, then it's probably going to be okay.
That's actually, that I agree. That is really good advice, and advice I actually haven't heard before.
Yeah. So throughout this entire process, pretty much every episode, I've been like, that was pretty okay. So if I'm having that as a baseline,
yeah,
I'm happy with the stuff we made so far.
I remember, I think last night when we were kind of wrapping up last night, I remember saying to you, I was like, this is definitely, of everything I've ever done, this is the most satisfied I've felt once I actually started doing it, because even things I've made that I liked, there's a steep drop from what you're picturing and what you want it to be versus when you're doing it, you're like, oh, well, this is what it actually became. But we're kind of doing what I hoped we would be doing. And I mean, it's not the best thing ever. And, you know, God willing, we're going to get better at it. And,
yes.
But I think we're doing okay. And I'm pretty excited for the audience, whatever audience it is, to experience some of the stuff we put together. I think we've done a lot of hard work to make sure we're putting out something that at least is as good a quality as we can do. I think we're doing our best, and I think it's pretty fucking awesome, honestly.
Yes, I got 4 hours of sleep last night because we were recording so late, and I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Recording at, what time is it right now? 11 p.m.
It is 11 p.m. and I'm about to drive for 2 hours, get in bed, and be at work at 8 tomorrow.
And we couldn't be happier.
And I couldn't be happier about the pounding headache I'm going to have for the next 24 hours.
And I'm happy any person can follow us along on this journey. Yes. And hopefully it lasts for a long time.
Please share the show, because it's pretty impossible to market this thing without spending money. Because what do? Put flyers out in public? Like, you know what I mean? Like, please, if you enjoy this, even if you don't, please share it, because we are counting on you, the little brothers out there.
Yes, and if you know anybody who wants to advertise a product, we'll give it a fair shake. We will, if we like it, we will put it on the show.
Have them email us.
Yes.
And we'll review.
Yes, yourolderbrothers@gmail.com. On Instagram, we are Your Older Brothers Podcast.
And yourolderbrothers@patreon.com.